Hey, what's up, everyone? So, 3rd of August, and we've had a good day. We've had a green day. Yet another good green day. But today, when I say we've had a good green day, it was a doozy. A fantastic day. We've actually made over $44,000 in profit today. And it started well, had a bit of a shaky period, and then it just went mental. The volatility that we started coming back into the market last week, particularly on Friday, continued earlier this week. We've seen it again today. The amount of stocks that are moving, the amount of stocks that are going parabolic. But when I say parabolic, we're talking huge, absolutely huge amounts. So I traded one stock today that moved up intraday over 550%, 554% it moved up. And we managed to get the majority of that move. Well, I say the majority, we managed to get a large portion of that move. We managed to make $36,000 on this stock. It was very volatile, so I wasn't going to go in big size with it. I think the most, the largest share size I had was about 10,000 shares, but mostly I was trading between 2.5 and 5,000 shares. $36,000 on that one stock. We did trade 6 stocks today, 2 losers, 4 winners. I thought I was doing really well when I traded HSCS. Now, HSCS is another bioscience. The whole bioscience sector today was buoyant. A lot of big parabolic movers in the pharmaceutical and bioscience sector. We traded AMTD. We managed to get $400 out of AMTD. APDN, so applied DNA science. We traded this pre-market, and we were about $3,500 up on applied DNA before the bell, and then we traded it after the bell, and we got faked out for a opening range breakout, and then we went in again and got another fake out for a reversal. And we ended up $1,800 down on the day. So from $3,500 up to $1,800 down on the day. So a little bit disappointing. Then we went and traded AMTD, as I mentioned. We managed to get $400 on that. We traded PSTX. That moved up really well. So we traded PSTX, which is Poseida Therapeutics, another bioscience stock, and we managed to get just over $3,000 on Poseida Therapeutics, and then we traded HSCS. So I said, after trading HSCS, so it's Heart Test Laboratories, after trading HSCS, I thought we'd done really well. We were doing fantastic on the day. We were over $9,000 good on HSCS, and that put, at that moment in time, that put me over $10,000 up on the day. So I'm thinking, great, having a great day here, you know. So then we started trading QNRX. I'll use the ticker QNRX because it's QUOIN, so Coin Pharmaceutical, I think it's pronounced. And this is the one that moved up on the day, over 550%, huge amounts. And I'll show you some of the gains and some of the trade in just a second. But it moved up huge amounts, and it moved up. We got in on the break of a bull flag, and I'll show you all of that. And then when it started to pull back and consolidate, we moved on and we tried to trade regional health. Regional health went absolutely berserk, volatility-wise. Volatility halt up, gap up, volatility halt up, gap up. I tried to get in, volatility halt down, gap down, and I tried to buy the bounce. I tried to buy the dip for a bounce. But as I got in, the spreads went really rangy, and it moved up on the ask, but didn't on the... So I got caught in the spreads and ended up losing $2,000 on that. So at that stage, I was a little bit disappointed on where we were finishing. I was thinking we could have had a really good day. I think we were about 25,000 up and then lost to 2,000. just my ADHD, I suppose, kicking in, and me really wanting to be a little over 25,000, get over that quarter century, and then QNRX had a breakout, and a huge breakout. It was, and I've drawn the flags. I drew it on the chart as we were trading, and we got a flag breakout, and it just went parabolic. It had already been parabolic before the flag, and then it just went parabolic afterwards. And it moved up from kind of a full $10 move, kind of $14 up to $25, $26 at the high. It actually went up to $28 was the high, 28.11. But my last trade was $24, so I didn't manage to trade it all the way up, didn't get all of the move, but the moves up to 28 were absolutely rapid. The spreads at this stage had widened quite significantly as well, so it was difficult to manage the risk. I was already up over $30,000, so when I got stopped out at $24,000, when I got stopped out at $24, we were up $44,000 on the day, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to outstay my welcome. I will leave it at that. It did start to pull back from that point. I was looking for a potential reversal and a move back up and retest of the highs. We didn't get that, and as I sit here recording this video today, right now in the after hours session, it's $20.50, trading at $20.50. So huge moves, parabolic moves, not just one, not just two, huge parabolic movers today. Some phenomenal gains, and we'll talk through the session as a whole, and what kind of moves you were spoiled for choice. What kind of moves could have been taken advantage of today? Let's just go through QNRX on the quick summary on the 1 minute, and you can see here this is the chart on the 1 minute, and it was moving up. It was above the VWAP, and this little pullback, this bull flag here, nice momentum move up, and we get this little bull flag pullback. This is where we got in. We actually got in at, we pushed the button for a break of 870. We got filled on average. A few it took a while to get filled, but on average it was just under 873 on average that we got filled at. And as that moved up, it moved into a halt, and it gapped up huge amounts as it moved up again after resumption. We took some profits, but we held. It pulled back to where we were, but we already had the cushion on the ticker. So as it then moved up again, we added to the position up here, and it then moved up, and we put a trailing stop in place. So as it pulled back, we got stopped, and it moved all the way down, and we had been exited on this position into a halt down. It halted down, but then gapped up. So the momentum on this stock was huge. We got back in, and we rode this up all the way. We're adding, taking profit, all the way up. Until we got to the top here. This was the high of this flagpole, as it were, and then it pulled back. It pulled into a halt again. It gapped down into a volatility halt, and then when it resumed higher, I re-entered. I re-entered for the break of $13, and we moved up again. It then started to pull back. I had my trailing stops in place, so as it pulled back, I got stopped out, and it pulled back down again. And I drew this original pennant here, because we've got lower highs between these 2 points. And then I drew from this one to, because I didn't want to get in the halt, I drew it from this level to the low of this level. So I didn't want to get the halt, the volatility halt involved. So I just drew it from the low of this green candle to the low of this green candle and beyond, and the intersection there. So I was looking at this higher lows, lower highs, and it was amazing how this flag started to develop, and it broke down. So it broke down and pulled all the way back. So what I was doing was watching this as it moved back up again. and it moved to the top of this triangle that I drew another line from the same point but to the low of the breakdown. And you can see what was happening. It was just ranging between this, and as we're starting to get to the apex of this narrowing triangle, it broke out. We got on the break. Obviously, ideally, we would have liked to have got in for the break of $14. We got in $15.49, so $15.50. We missed the initial breakout. I think I was drawing this line here, but we missed the initial breakout, and we got in at 15 for the break of the $0.50 of 15.50. So we missed a whole $1.50 move. So we potentially could have had even more. And we took 2,500 shares, and then we rode this all the way up, and this went all the way up to $28. We were taking profits. We were adding 2,500, so we're up at 5,000 shares. Then taking half the profits back down to 2,500. And that's what we were doing, up into volatility halts, up into another volatility halt, gapping up. Then it started to pull back, and we got out pretty much at the top, well, the bottom of this candle, but with the top of the move. We got out at $24 as this pulled back, and after this volatility halt. That was our last transaction on this, and we made $36,000. $36,000 on this. And if I put this on the 5-minute and zoom in so that you can actually see a little bit more in terms of what actually happened here. We got this flag, we got this move up, then the flag, then this big move up, and we caught the majority of this move from $8.70 to $24. So huge gains on the day. I didn't expect another day like this. Well, I didn't expect a day like this, and I was happy with the $20 plus thousand days on Monday and Tuesday. To have a $40,000 day plus today, that basically takes me very, very close. I think actually we're over $90,000 on the month right now. So I'll have a look at that in trade profit. I'll have a look at that in just a minute when we review the trade review stats. But that'll take me to 47,000 week to date. Another 44, call it 45 because it's 47 plus change, so 45,000 on top, and we're 92,000 on the month. My goal on the month is $100,000, so we're at $92,000 after day 3, the 3rd of August. Phenomenal month. So calling this out on the live on the stream, what I've said is if I get over $100,000 this week, I'll look to do a small account challenge for the remainder of the month. I'll lock in the gains, I'll lock in the target. I'll still trade in this account, but what I'll do is I'll have the priority on my small account. And I've not decided what size account to start with, whether it be a $5,000 account or a $3,000 account or $2,500 account or whatever it is. I've not decided that yet. I'll decide that if we get over $100,000 this week. So I need $10,000 between Thursday and Friday, and I'll start a small account challenge, and we'll see how we get on with that. But what I would say is QNRX, huge mover, 550% move intraday. If we look at what else moved, huge gains. So we had Ekmoho moved up on the day. This moved up, it's a penny stock, but it moved up to 49 cents when it closed yesterday at 16 cents. So huge gains on that one. We had Caspian Holdings. Caspian Holdings moved up big today as well, over 100%, 137% it is right now. So it moved up over 150%. ENVB, also known as Enveric Bioscience. Enveric Bioscience moved up huge amounts today, over 100%. It's got halted. Look at the volatility halts up here. So this went up to 1375. It actually closed yesterday at 636. So over 100%. This went up, over 125%. This went up. PSTX, which we traded, we got over $3,000 on this across the course of the day. If you look at the moves, this went up to a high early doors, huge gains, and it was quite volatile as well. But it went up to a high on the day of 553, and it closed yesterday at 243. So another 100% mover. We had HSCS that I mentioned. So HSCS that we traded. Look at this move up, huge move up. HSCS closed yesterday at $1.73. It moved all the way up to $6 today. So huge gains, absolutely huge gains across the course of the day. That's almost that's over 300% gains across the course of the day. It wasn't the only one. There were so many parabolic movers again today. The momentum was huge. The volatility was huge. However, I do know some people that lost money today. You think, Tony, how can you lose money when you've got so many stocks moving up 100, 150, 200, 300, 400%? Well, the simple answer is they're getting married to the stocks that have already done that earlier in the week, and their game's finished. So if we look at, we got a big move from QNRX retail. QNRX retail, people traded this yesterday. I made money on it yesterday. I made a good amount of money on this yesterday. But today, Monday was the big day for QNRX retail, but I also made money yesterday. Today, it moved up and sold off all day, and people were still holding this. People still holding this at $19, $18, $19. And that's the problem. If you're day trading these stocks, you day trade them. You close your position before the close. You don't hold them overnight, and you certainly don't swing trade them unless you've got in for a swing trade, and then you have stocks in place. We had people that were telling me that they were holding on to AMTD. So AMTD was moving in sympathy yesterday with, if we look at the gains it made yesterday, huge gains across the course of the day, pre-market. And, we got on the back of that and was able to make some of those gains. So pre-market yesterday, huge moves up, very volatile. You see more moves, very, very volatile stock. But you can see it reached a peak of kind of $12 in the pre-market today, and then sold off pre-market, stayed, but it came up and tested the VWAP, sold off, and just fizzled out. Why? Well, it was a parent or sister company to HKD. Now, this is AMTD Digital. This has been moving stupid amounts. This moved up from $13 in mid-July to 2,600 yesterday. That's over 2,000% gains in a little over a week. And you can see low volume, very low volume, high volatility. But you can see here it's just spent the rest of the today, very little action pre-market, but the rest of the day just selling off on low volume, very low volume. And as a result of that, we had AMTD, the parent or sister company, sold off in tandem. So this is why I keep saying, don't get married to stocks. Don't get married. I was expecting Pagaya to move up today. Had a rest day. I had a consolidation day yesterday, even though it did finish higher. It pulled back. It was a red day from the open. And today it gapped up and then sold off. So Pagaya, we traded this all last week and made considerable gains to finish July. But people were not paying attention. They were looking at the pharma runners, and that's the key. The key word there, pharma. former runners, rather than paying attention to where the momentum was today. And day trading, you don't marry stocks. You don't care what they did previously. What you don't care about whether it's a good company or not. You just want to be riding intraday momentum. So when we got on QNRX, we're not expecting this at all. So it didn't even move until after lunch. And I went walking the dog and wasn't really doing much. Had some dinner because I'm 5 hours ahead of the market. So I had some dinner, and then it started to move up. And it's this bull flag here that I got on, over $7. So 773, I think was I said my entry was, and then we rode it all the way up from there. So afternoon momentum just gave me $36,000. $36,000 in an afternoon. It's phenomenal. A lot of people don't earn that in a year, and here I am doing it in an afternoon. So yeah, really, really good trading day. I mean, these don't come along every day. I'm kind of a little bit nervous about tomorrow. The reason for that is when you have a big trading day, you tend to feel invincible. You end up coming out the next day swinging for the fences. You've got no cushion, and you give back some of the gains. It's normal for that to happen. So tomorrow I'll be very cautious pre-market for sure. And maybe just a little bit more cautious in the open market until I've got a cushion. Once I've got a cushion, I can take a bigger swing, not necessarily swing for the fences, but a bigger swing. Wait for the momentum, wait for the right setups, and patience is the key. If you're not seeing the right setups, don't get frustrated and trade anything. Wait for the setups. If no setups come along across the whole day, there's another trading day the day after. So you just be patient. If you don't have a zero trade day, that's called being disciplined. A zero trade day is a break-even day, and a break-even day is better than a red day. So better to not trade than try and trade something that's not a good setup. That's what I'd say anyway. But today was phenomenal. I mean, we traded APDN, got 3,500 up pre-market, gave it back and a bit besides at the open, made that back up and then some, and then got on to QNRX. So roller coaster day, emotionally taxing but rewarding, and really, really enjoyable. Really enjoyable. And to do it live on stream as well was great. So if you didn't watch it, go check out the review of today's Power Hour session. You'll be able to watch most of that QNRX trade, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. I'll be trading it again tomorrow morning. So that'll be 8 o'clock market time, or East Coast, New York. It'll be 1 p.m. here in Dublin, where I'm based in Ireland. It's also 1 p.m. anywhere in the UK. 2 p.m. on the continent of Europe. If you want to come join me live, streaming live, trading live. I'll be doing that 90 minutes before the market opens, as I say. If you want to be notified so you can join me, then subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll get a notification when I go live and you can join me. And if you've enjoyed this trade recap, give me one of those, smash that thumbs up button, really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I know I will. Cheers.